What up, YouTube? I'm back. So it was a pretty good episode of Boku no Hero Academia. I really liked it, and there's a lot of things to talk about that we learned in this week's episode, but also we're going to talk about what's maybe going to happen in next week's episode. So let's get right to it. So obviously in last week's episode we saw Kirishima and Fat Gum go against two of the members of the 8 bullets of the Hasaikai. One of the members was named Rappa and the other guy I don't remember exactly, but it was a cool ass fight. We saw how Fat Gum's power worked, and we actually got some information from one of the villains, Rappa, about Overhaul. That was kind of surprising, but we learned some things about Overhaul and why Rappa joined him. So he basically said that he was an MMA fighter, and once upon a time Overhaul went to one of his fights and fought against Rappa, against him, and he actually killed Rappa, but because his quirk, he can reassemble and destroy things. He was actually able to kind of resurrect Rappa because of his quirk. So that's kind of crazy because he actually killed Rappa, but because of his quirk, he revived him. So that's kind of a crazy quirk, man. I didn't know that he could actually do that. We all knew that he could reassemble things, but he's basically giving him life again, so that's kind of crazy. So the reason why Rappa chose to follow Overhaul is because he wanted to defeat him, and he actually fought Overhaul 5 times, and the 5 times he lost to Overhaul. So that's how strong Overhaul is, because we just saw Kirishima and Fat Gum go against Rappa, and they struggled a lot. They struggled to defeat him. So I don't know how powerful Overhaul is, but it's going to be awesome to see, man. Rappa was also kind of a weird villain because he was giving all sort of information to Fat Gum, and he was actually helping them recover from the battle, so he doesn't actually care about what's happening right there. He just wants to fight powerful people. So yeah, that was kind of weird for him to give information to the heroes. I guess that's plot, so that we can learn some things from Overhaul. So anyway, we learned Ratlock's quirk and how it works. So the name of his quirk is called Lockdown. So it's basically locking down everything that he touches. So it's kind of the reverse of what one of the villains, I think his name is Mimic, is doing. So Mimic can move whatever he touches, and a Ratlock can immobilize everything he touches. So that's kind of cool the way that they did that. But we didn't see him for long because he got defeated at the beginning of the episode. Obviously it's because he's the black guy. If you've seen every movie or horror movie, the black guy always gets defeated first. So no, that was a joke, but he was the first casualty in this week's episode. He was, I think, injured by Toga. I don't think that he's actually dead, but the reason why he was caught off guard is because the villain twice created a clone of Toga, so that he was distracted by it, and then the real Toga from behind stabbed him. So that was quite a scene. And the heroes didn't know that the League of Villains and the Yakuza were working together, and even us, we didn't really know, because the scene between Shigaraki and Overhaul didn't finish till today, in this week's episode. So we didn't really know exactly, but it seems like they have an alliance right now. Toga is actually catching a lot of people off guard, including Midoriya and Eraserhead. At first, when Midoriya destroyed the wall to go see how Rocklock was doing, she transformed into Rocklock because she ingested his blood, so she looked like Rocklock. So at first Midoriya and Eraserhead didn't know. She basically said that Rocklock, the real one that was on the ground bleeding, was a clone, I think, or maybe her Toga transformed into him. But she actually caught Midoriya and Eraserhead off guard. Eraserhead is really smart, so he caught it a little bit before she was able to attack. Midoriya was able to evade her attacks, and he was really surprised. You know, his facial reaction to her was really funny, but she was actually able to stab Eraserhead in the arm, I think. I'm not really sure, but after that she escaped pretty easily. But it's hard for the heroes right now because they really don't know what Overhaul's plan is. They didn't know that the League of Villains would work with the Yakuza, so they don't have an advantage because first of all they're in their base, and now they didn't know that, you know, the League of Villains and the Yakuzas would work together. There was a scene at the end of the episode where Shigaraki is talking with Overhaul, and Overhaul was just saying to him that he wanted Toga and Twice in his group so that he can help him, so that, you know, they can create an alliance. And at the end of the episode, Shigaraki was basically explaining to Toga and Twice that he's doing that so that he can have kind of the upper hand, you know. So he's not really working with Overhaul, he's just maybe, you know, he wants the upper hand, you know, I guess. So that's why he kind of quote unquote gave Toga and Twice to Overhaul for this mission. But we'll see what's gonna happen with the League of Villains and the Yakuza, because that's gonna be interesting. And we also saw Night Eye in action for the first time, I think, in this season. He actually fought against a clone of Rappa, and Twice he used some technology to fight because he's not the most physical gifted guy. He's not physically strong like Midoriya or even Togata, you know. So he actually used items so that he could fight against really strong guys. At first I didn't know how the hell he did that. I thought that maybe he trained a lot so that he could become really strong physically, kind of like Mirio, but it seems like he's using special items, you know. So that's the first time that we've seen that in action. We know that one of the girls, I think in the science class or something like that, she always helps Midoriya and all these guys in class with her invention, you know. So I'm guessing that that's what it's gonna be in the future, you know. That's how the pros uses these items. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see. And the thing is, Night Eye, because of his quirk, he's gotten really good at anticipating what the enemies are going to do or what attack they're going to do. So because of that, he's gotten better, and he can actually use it to, you know, fight against other enemies, you know. So that's kind of overpowered. Even though he's not really using his quirk, he's using his anticipation that his quirk help him to learn to, you know, fight, you know. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, man, it was a really good episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I saw the next week's episode preview, and it seems like it's gonna be all about Mirio. So it's gonna be awesome to see. I really want to know more about Mirio, and I really want to see him fight, you know, because we've seen him fight once, and that was in the last season at the end of it when he was going up against Class 1A. So I really want to see Mirio go up against a villain, and it seems like he's gonna fight Overhaul, you know. So we've heard that Mirio is supposedly the strongest hero, or as strong as the #1 hero. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does against Overhaul, because we all know that Overhaul, he only has to touch somebody to kill them. So it's going to be interesting because Mirio's quirk is actually, it's not really, it's kind of compatible to Overhaul's quirk, because Overhaul will not be able to touch Mirio if he uses his quirk, you know. So that's going to be an interesting battle. Anyway, I do Boku no Hero Academia Season 4 reviews every Saturday morning, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays. I'm coming back for Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays because winter break is there and I don't have class all day long on Tuesday, so it's coming back next Tuesday. I do Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld reviews on Saturday at noon, so stay tuned for that later today. And then at night I do One Piece reviews on Saturday, so it's gonna be an amazing week. And I also do sometime Boruto Naruto Next Generation reviews on Sundays. There's a new arc coming this January about the manga, so they're finally starting to adapting the manga, the Boruto manga in the anime, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be an amazing ride. And yeah, man, stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. And follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.